What's up, guys? Team Survival here. I finally finished the Gokis, and they're 100% complete. This is how I would play the deck. Really excited. I really like this deck. This is probably going to be my main deck for this coming format because the ban list is coming in 2 weeks. And you can do some crazy things. Set up a full power Tri-Gate, 3 bounce, firewall, take up both of the extra link zones, etc. The deck finally got like what it needed in like good link monsters that can solve problems and have utility, which is what the issue is for the deck before. Like before, we could really just do Borload and Baguska and like kind of run out of cards to solve solutions. But with what we have out of the new set, we're able to keep cards in our hand, get our nightmare effects off, and swarm the board. Without further ado, let's get into the profile. This deck also did a really good job at regionals, and it was topping a lot of them. It was doing a lot of work in the recent events. And so if you guys are not sure what you want to play, you don't like a lot of the current top decks, this is the deck for you. I got it while it was cheap, and whoever watched my other videos, I called it. I said that this deck was going to come out and do really well, and the new support was actually really good for it. But if you still want a deck and you don't want to spend like a ton of money, this might be the deck for you. And while we're going over the video, if you guys can't afford some of the cards, I'll tell you what to put in instead, and everyone's just as good. And then I'll go grab a few cards to show also other budget versions if you don't have other cards, and we'll go over that as well. But for the way I play the deck is 3 Super X, 3 Twist Cobra. I still think these are the 2 best. You'd be surprised how often you game people with Twist Cobra. Sometimes when I was playing the deck, I wasn't looking for that. But sometimes you don't need to go as far and make that super special board when you can just put enough damage on the board to attack with everyone. So like you do whatever monsters you do, and then you attack with Super X, and then the last monster you're attacking with is Twist Cobra. And then during the damage step, you use Twist Cobra's effect to get rid of Super X, and that ends up being enough to steal the game. When you guys are playtesting with this, keep an eye out for that. It'll catch players by surprise. They don't realize you have game. Not everyone's familiar with this deck, and Twist Cobra's really good. I love that it's level 3. Just everything about this card I like, and I think it's the most underrated Gouki of them all, and I think it's actually the second best. Next is the Headbats. Effect-wise, they're very balanced. Probably one of the worst summoning mechanics for one of the top decks, because you have to get rid of a card to summon it, but sometimes you just need to do it, and he's a level 2, and he gets a great rid effect, so he's also very good. And then 2 Octo Stretch. No words, this card's great. Yeah, it was all day. And then I'm playing 2 Rice Scorpio. I'm not playing Bear Hug because I just don't like the card. It's not good. And I play 1-on-1 where I can just play 2 Rice Scorpio. I don't need that extra name. Like it's not necessary. And yeah, Rice Scorpio is just flat out better. The 100 attack points isn't worth the level 6. Like, it's not. I don't have 2 junk forwards, but I don't need them. Photon Thrasher does the exact same thing. I'm not playing MX Hyper Invoker, so it's not important to me. The only card that this conflicts with semi is my 1 Transmodify, sorry, and it doesn't ever come up. It's not a big deal. If I ever pick up Junk Forwards, I will, but I think this is actually a better card. Junk Forwards also $5, and I'm sure Photon Thrasher is a little bit cheaper. If you don't have access to these, Photon Butter Spy is good, and that's also something I'll show you later on, like what you can put in. If you can't afford some of these cards, if you can't afford Iblee or you don't have access to Iblee, it's okay. She's amazing, but if you don't have her, you don't need her. Put in a Masked Chameleon instead. Then for the hand traps, 2 Draw Unlocks, 2 of the Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbits, and then 1 Infinite Impermanence. So, if I had a playset, maybe I'd play a playset of these, but I don't. The reason why Ghost Ogre is so good is because there's not a deck it doesn't hit. It doesn't do as good of a job as Draw and Lockbird, where it's giving you turn or locking about an opponent from their turn. But this is good against everything, and that's why Ogre's really like the best hand trap in the game right now. Impermanence it's pretty nutty. Like, it's actually a really good card. I think even after this coming ban list, it'll be an even better card. So definitely just do what you can to get your hands on them. But I wouldn't go like spending all your money on this card and not being able to build the deck. You could just make this a third Torrential Tribute, not a big deal. If you don't have this, not a big deal. Effect Veilers, etc. Like, this isn't gonna make or break the deck. And then draws are draws that give you a turn. They're great. So then we have 2 Torrentials. I actually have a Dark Hole in here as well. If you want to play 3 Torrentials and not Dark Hole, that's perfectly fine. The deck used to be about going second, but now with the first turn boards we can set up, it's about going first. And your cards are protected from the Torrential Tribute with, I think it's either Cerberus, I want to say. So you'll be all linked up, so they'll be fine. So if you want to play a third of this instead of the Dark Hole, that's perfectly fine. I only find that I need 2, but this card's beast right now. Like, honestly, Torrential Tribute's so good right now. And to be able to play 3 and utilize it and not hurt yourself, it's pretty special. Not every deck can do that. For consistency, Rhoda, 1 Pop Desires. I don't want to see 2. If I see it, it's awesome. If I don't see it, I'll live. Just really good. You want to do this after you do your combos. And then 1 Transmodify. If you want to put a Torrential Tribute inside of this, that's fine. I just like to see 1 because it fixes a lot of hands. Not many hands need to be fixed, but every time I do need this card, I always see it, and it helps me go a little bit further and just kind of fill up that graveyard. You could play 2 of these. I'm playing 2 of the equips, but I took out 1 for this guy, or I took out 1 of these for the second. I really like this card in the deck. You don't need any downbeats. If you don't have access to Transmodify, then downbeat's fine. And then the Divine Sword, Phoenix Blade, and the Moonmirror Shield. If you can't get Phoenix Blade, it's not a big deal. It just helps you not get rid of as many resources from your hand. Because you can, after you do combos, banish 2 warriors, you get it back to your hand, you keep doing that. But Moonmirror Shield is a better card. And the reason why Moonmirror Shield is a better card is because if you hard draw it, Phoenix Blade, it's trash. If you hard draw Moonmirror Shield, it can actually help you. You make a Borlo and you equip it with this, that's a hard card to get rid of. Like, this card's actually really good. And then once it's equipped, you just put it to the bottom of the deck, and then you're going to be able to get off with your Isolde plays. So it's not a big deal if you hard draw this. You're going to make the underclock, you're not going to waste your Isolde, alright? So this card is, like, way better than Phoenix Blade, but Phoenix Blade can be a lot more cheesy. When you're further ahead, this card pays off more than Moonmirror Shield. But Moonmirror Shield is better just because of the hard draw reason. If you can't get one or the other, if you want to play 2 of 1, like, you can play 2 Moonmirror or 2 Phoenix Blade, it really doesn't matter. I like the 1-on-1. And then Regeki, Dark Hole, Double Mind Control. A lot of these you can negate, or you can bait out negations. It's really hard for decks to deal with board wipes right now, and this deck plays, I want to say, 4. This helps you just get free monsters for link fodder and solve problems. And they also clear the way for your instant fusions, because we are playing Thousand Eyes Restrict and Raijin. So after the 2 instant fusions, playing some spicy tech, Emergency Teleport. Why this card is really good just in the deck is because if you don't see your ogres in that first hand, then they're not really doing anything for you. It's all about getting them in your first hand. You want to be able to solve what your opponent's doing. It then becomes like a dead card in your deck when you draw it late, because this deck doesn't usually grind out. You set up a really big board and either you win the duel or yeah, that's basically it. It actually does grind out. I misspoke. But if you don't see that ogre and you see it later, it's not going to do work for you like it would in early game. So this kind of thins out your deck, because you take 1 more monster out of it, and you're getting a monster on the board that can help you make any Link monster or FA Dawn Dragster. So this card's actually like really good. I 100% recommend playing this in your deck. And that goes for other decks too. It doesn't necessarily have to be just this deck. Then your 3 Gouki rematches. I saw some people playing 2. Guys, it's fucking Soul Charge. Play 3 of this card. Like, what the fuck? And then Soul Charge, Game Charge, whatever you want to call it, and then Monster Reborn. Yeah, no explanation needed there. I'm actually going to jump to the side deck before we go into the extra deck. So side decking wise, this is what I have access to, and you can change it, but I like this. 2 Cosmic Cyclone, 3 System Downs. I can really see ABCs taking off and making a next step. I've been saying this for a really long time, and I think the deck's like it's time for that deck to start doing stuff. Then of course 3 Called by the Graves. Card puts in a ton of work. Yeah, it's a must-have in my opinion. I have 1 Evenly Matched. Not a big deal. It's nice to have 3. If you can't get 3, that's fine. I think the card's a little overrated. And then 3 Network Trap Holes. You can replace these with Bottomless Trap Holes. I just think this is slightly better because when I don't want Bottomless Trap Holes in my deck, but if I am putting them in, I'm putting these in for a specific reason, which is probably dinosaurs and stuff like that. And this card is just better. So that's the reason behind this. If you can't get access to this card, Bottomless Trap Holes are fine. Or if you want to play something else, go right ahead like Soaring Mirror Force. And then to finish that off is the 3 Red Reboot. Card is really good, and it's becoming a staple in most people's side decks. If you're going to win that turn, this card is a must-have. Alright. For the extra deck, I have 1 Isolde, and I find that that's all I need. A lot of people play 2, and if you get 2, that's totally fine. But the reason why I'm playing only 1 Isolde is because I also play the Underclock Taker, and I want space in the back of my extra deck. I have a little luxury back here, and we'll go over into that a little bit later. A lot of people don't play the cards I'm playing back there. But honestly, like, Isolde's amazing, and if they do stop it, it hurts, but, like, you'll be okay without the second one. The deck can do stuff before this new support came out. Borreload solves a lot of issues. Like, you'll live. So, if you want to take out the Underclock, that's fine, but remember, we're playing Thousand Eyes Restrict, we're playing Mind Controls, etc. But Isolde and Underclock Taker, these are your main 2. Then into the Nightmare cards. 1 Mermaid. If you guys don't have Iblee, you don't play this card. You can play something else. 1 Nightmare Goblin. 1 Nightmare Cerberus. 1 Nightmare Phoenix. 1 Unicorn. Alright. So, we're actually only playing 1 Gouki Link monster. So if you were to take out Nightmare Mermaid, go ahead and throw in either Thunder Ogre or the 4 Goukis guy, Master Ogre. He's pretty good, but for the build that we're playing, I don't need him. I was super excited to pull him though, because if you're playing a pure version, you'd probably play two of him, and he's super cool. I just wanted to have the card. I'm actually a really big fan of this archetype. So Mermaid works with Iblee, and Goblin gives you an extra normal summon, and these are really good effects. Sorry, 1 second, please. And then Cerberus helps protect your monsters from like your torrential tributes. Unicorn is the best Link 3 in the game, in my opinion, and helps you get a bunch of draws during your next turn. Phoenix, be careful with this card. People are playing Waken the Dragon now, so be mindful of what you're popping. And all these cards, when you use their effects, you get to draw. This helps you set up really easy 3 bounced firewalls or free Tri-Gate Wizards. But you can make those without this card. Like, the deck can still do it without Mermaid. It's just kind of a luxury. That's it for the Nightmares. I'm not playing the Griffin. I think it's a good card. I just don't think it's as good as other cards. I'd rather play the Firewall. If you don't have Firewall and you have that, that's fine. It really doesn't matter. Firewall is just pretty nutty sometimes. Then the Tri-Gate Wizard. And then the Gouki the Great Ogre. So I'm only playing the Great Ogre because I think he's the best Gouki. He's actually hard for a lot of people to deal with. And then Tri-Gate's Tri-Gate. This card's incredible. Banish 1, do piercing, and you get a negation, which when you have that on board with Mermaid above it, Cerberus, and Phoenix with a 2300 Gouki on here over the side, like that's really hard to break. Like, I'm not saying it's unbreakable, but it's up there in unbreakable boards. Like it's a very tough board to deal with. And then the one Firewall Dragon and the one Borreload. If you guys don't have access to Griffin or Firewall, Topologic's a great card, a really good combo with Underclock Taker, and he solves issues as well, especially with how many monsters this deck can summon. So, you know, that's always a good option for you to play in the deck. I think Topologic's a very underrated card. And then for the instant fusions, 1 Ragin, 1000 Restrict. This helps you get out Isolde faster. This helps take away monsters or bait negations. Then 1 FA Dawn Dragster, because this card's incredible and helps you put more negations on the board besides just Trigate. And then Baguska, because we need 1 rank 4, and he's the best in my opinion. Real quick, I'm going to go grab a few cards. 1 second. So, if you can't get all these cards, here are some options that you can play. This is Radio. Gouki Face Turns. Thunder Ogres. Downbeats. Goblinbergs. You can play the Predaplan engines. I think that's all. Yeah, so. Not everyone has access to all these cards. So, other really good cards that help make the deck work. Cards like Goblinberg. Cards like Photon Butterspy. The idea behind these cards is they help you get to Isolde faster, and that's like a really good thing because she's almost a win condition. So these are really good cards to put in. If you want to take any of the other stuff out, maybe the Transmodify, etc., these are the cards that do it. Then, if you don't have access to Transmodifies, you can play Downbeats. This is Thunder Ogre, Mrs. Radiant, and the Master Ogre. These are all good link monsters that you can also put in the deck if you can't afford or get access to some of the other ones. And then, Gouki Face Turn. This card's really good. In the last version I was playing this card, and some people do play it as a one-of. It's pretty decent, but there are just better cards in my opinion that I can play in my deck, and I'd rather actually have the Transmodify than the Gouki Face Turn. Yeah. And then, if you don't have some of the other cards, you can put in another Transmodify. Stirring Mirror Forces are also good if you don't have access to Torrential Tributes, or if you can't get Infinite Permanence. Cards like Solemn Strike are also really good. And then really spicy tech is Mass Chameleon. I have 2 more, but I couldn't find them, so this card's really good. I almost want to put it back in the deck just because it's a very powerful 1-card summon. I was playing Scarlet Dragon, Red Dragon Archfiend or whatever, which blows up boards, and that card's like really good. But I took one of this out for the Moon Mirror Shield, I think, and yeah. If you guys don't have access to this engine, this is a really good card. If you guys just want to do something really spicy, something to catch your opponent off guard, Mass Chameleon is really good. Almost all your monsters have 0 defense. In fact, I think every single one does have 0 defense. That can give you access to rank 8s, rank 7s, and level 7s. It can give you access to 5 through 8. Yeah. That's pretty good. But that's it for the video. Thank thank you for tuning in. This is, in my opinion, the best way to play Goukis. I think this deck's going to be really successful, and best of luck. Peace.